Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Talking Wrestling. I am Andrew. My friend Keenan is here with me, and this is our show. And right now, nothing major is going on in wrestling, so we're going to be talking about a movie, but we will talk a little bit about wrestling. So,
I was
yeah,
about to say, like, how much talking wrestling is, maybe there should be an addendum. Like, talking wrestling when some shit goes on.
I mean, let's be realistic. Something will go on next week in wrestling, and something will go on the week after the show before Mania.
Well,
And
there's a full segment on YouTube of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. I couldn't see if I thought Seth Rollins and all them. Did they already do that where they're all in the ring? Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure they're gonna get some shit done. I'm sure they'll. I'm sure it'll happen, bro.
what's up, B-Man? How are you? We have somebody watching. How are you, man?
I gotta say what's up to we're on the clap over here, and they can only see me on my TikTok, so they can only hear you. But
That's all right.
they can see you on the
voice
clap.
got
Everybody's getting the clap tonight. That's a great joke, right? I told you I got in trouble the first day I got this app called the Clapper, and I when I got on and I got on somebody's live and I said, I just caught the clap, the app that is. And I got like right then I was taken out of their live. I was like, what the fuck is that, bro? That was a good joke, man. It's not a bad joke. Like, whatever. Bullshit. All right, so let's talk some what's all this over here? What's all this that came up on the screen? You want to read out all these comments over here?
So this is a B-Man is good. How's your night going? I mean, my night's fine. I did a whatnot stream. I did something else tonight. I'm having an adult soda. Obviously, I don't know how to say Lee Lataro, I want to say. He's I don't know
Good
where
morning.
but I mean, it's night where I'm at. It's night where Keenan's at. But if you're somewhere international, we're cool with that too. I'll be eating some cereal. And then
Unless y'all got terrible cereal over there. And this guy doesn't want the clap. It's called the Clapper. The clapper. That's what. It always reminds me like
terrible. This is terrible in so many ways.
The same woman that did the commercial for the clapper was the same. I fell and I can't get up woman. She got the same, like she got double duty on those commercials. And for a woman that's like 65, you got to give her like props for that. But I digress. And I took that from you.
That's all right. I'll give it to you. I will give it to you, and then you can take it because the week I had, it's Friday, and I need this adult soda more than most people need it. But I will not continue along those veins. I do not want to be canceled. Before we get to episode 7 of this show.
7. The show is so young.
We're figuring it out, guys. We're figuring it out. But what even happened in wrestling this week? Like nothing happened in wrestling, right?
I saw something on Monday. What was it? What did I don't think anything happened on Monday because nothing came on my feed. And oh no, I just looked it up. It was nothing. I think like what's his name? Randy Orton and that Logan Paul had like a confrontation. Like nothing's going on, man. Nothing important.
The only thing that's going on is that Cody had a discussion with Paul Heyman to show up for Friday Night SmackDown, saying if you don't come with anybody, Roman won't come with anybody.
Yeah, that's what it was. Now that's the ticket. I needed a nerdy kid like you to remind me. That's your whole point in the show, bro, is to remind a motherfucker like me because
this is like the big bucks, right?
I even watched that on YouTube. I watched them say that shit, and I was like, oh, that'll be something to pay attention to. And that's what I said. That's what the segment that's showing on YouTube that I'll watch after we get off the thing.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it too. It's at this point though. I mean, let me ask you about this, and then we're gonna talk about the movie that we watched this week. But I feel like they've heated up Cody versus Rock and Roman with Seth Rollins WrestleMania a little too early. I feel like they've taken the idea of this and it should have been 4 weeks build up, maybe 6 build up, and they turned it into like a 10-week fest to get here. and I feel like they're running out of steam with it.
And well, wait, there was tonight on SmackDown, there was the Usos, Jimmy and Jay in the ring, not wrestling, just having their promo, and a Solo Soko homie, whatever the
Yeah.
little guy, he comes running up, and then the other Uso super kicks the other one, like the Bloodline Uso super kicks the other Uso, and then Cody Rhodes comes out and he cleans house, and so it's gonna be the Usos versus Rock. It's gonna be something stupid, man. And that's the worst part. I feel like, is this, even though, like, okay, Cody needs his moment, but is this moment really gonna mean anything? Like,
this is my problem, is that I don't have a problem with the build-up, right? But we've been building this up, and we're on week 6 this now, and I feel like they should have figured out how to postpone it for 2 weeks, and we should have had a 6-week build-up to this shit.
I don't know. Like, what was Dusty Rhodes Sr.? What was his career mainly? Chasing the belt. He chased Ric Flair around Florida, in Georgia. He chased the belt. He did not win the belt all that many times.
He never won the belt.
No, I'm not talking about the WWF belt. I'm talking about other belts. Even down there, like, he won the belt against Ric Flair, the NWA belt. He won that.
He never won the one that mattered.
Okay, I get that, but what I'm saying is that he still, even though he won the NWA belt, he still spent a lot of time chasing that belt. So what if Cody is gonna spend time chasing the belt? Like, I know they say this is the last time you're gonna get, but who the fuck is The Rock? Like, this is not gonna be the last time Cody Rhodes. And plus, he's been in the company 2 years. Cody Rhodes isn't gonna go. You think he's gonna lose popularity if they don't give him the belt at WrestleMania?
He's beyond that at this point. He doesn't
need the belt. Roman Reigns probably needs that belt. Roman Reigns, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with Roman Reigns without that belt?
This is my whole thing.
No, fuck you, Roman. Like, no, I put up with you for so fucking long, Roman. Like, what? I'm gonna get in trouble. What the fuck happened to that disease, bro? I can't come back from my fucking disease. How the fuck can Roman Reigns come back from his shit, man? Some bullshit.
This is my
WWE money must be nice, I guess.
This is my thing about Roman now. My whole issue with Roman and everything at this point is that I think you get the belt off him, you got to sit him down for 6 months to a year. Not saying you don't pay him. He just has to sit down. And because you have to rebuild Roman Reigns at that point. And then if he comes up every, 7 months later, great. Now you can do something because it's faded away and you moved on to the next component, but then Roman can come back, Bloodline 2.0, and then The Rock is there, Solo is there. But again, my whole thing is that I don't even know if Cody needs to win.
Cody doesn't need to win. I think if Roman needs to win, to get that, and they could, Roman could win by cheating somehow. Even though it's not, if no bloodline rules means in a championship fight, like the belt stays with the champion for a disqualification. So that could be how they're playing it.
That can be how it's played. This is what I think, right? I think you have to get to the point where at Mania, if Roman wins, he has to be destroyed. He has to win by like the hair on his chin, right? He cannot win clean, and he can't win by cheating per se. He has to win where he has to get beaten and brought to the next level. As far as I'm concerned. Because I don't know. That's the only way you could protect Cody if you don't let Cody win.
And see, this is exactly what. And you remember how we talked about watching movies or watching TV? Because this is exactly what the fuck they wanted. This is exactly what and I feel like I'm playing into their shit. Like, same thing with Randy Orton at that fucking Elimination Chamber. After it came out, and I was like, oh yeah, it's wrestling. He's acting. He's not really hurt, you fucking dummy. Like the entire time, I'm like, why isn't somebody just pinned Orton, got him the fuck out the ring if he's fucking hurt like that? He can't even fucking move. Damn ring. Look at him. Fucking he can't move. I'm literally talking to the TV while that and then afterwards, like, oh yeah, it's wrestling, dummy.
They got us, man. They got us.
They got not us. They got me. They got me. That
too.
I was the only person in the crowd being like, "That's." I understand they got, but I was the only one like literally talking to like, just let that old man out the ring.
Isn't this important though, right? Isn't this important though? Because the way I feel about what they've done now is they got me to the point where I'm like an 8-year-old and I think something's real. And it's amazing. It really is amazing because I'm watching a product of wrestling right now and I'm like, man, this feels real.
Vince McMahon or no Vince McMahon, they are still good at the edging, right? They're still good at the edging, like keeping you on your seat. You know, that was a sex joke. You know, edging is a sex thing where you try to. Never mind. Let's not go further into it. It's just gonna get bad. The more I explain edging.
But I mean, look. They're just bringing us along. We got 2 weeks to Mania, give or take, right? We got next week, and then we got the week before. And then the right after SmackDown is going to be the Hall of Fame. So I don't know if we're going to be doing a show that night. Because I'm probably going to I want to watch Paul Heyman's speech. That's the only thing I care about.
What are you talking about on SmackDown that night?
After. I think the Hall of Fame is after, from my understanding. Or it might be
talking about WrestleMania?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. Paul Heyman is getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. I'm curious about
Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame. I didn't get. I thought when you just said Paul Heyman's speech, I was like, Paul Heyman's speech. What the fuck are you talking about? After WrestleMania, he's gonna put a speech on. I was like, what the fuck are you talking?
No, I'm talking about
in my head, bro. I was being an idiot. You know, one of those times where after it all clicks in, you're like, oh yeah, dummy. No, there's a Hall of Fame speech. No, I'm really looking to I'm looking forward to all the other inductees. I'm not even sure. Like, isn't Paul Heyman technically still like in the why are you going in the Hall of Fame? Like,
why is Rey Mysterio in the Hall of Fame too?
Yeah, but wasn't he technically retired? But I guess he's not. I guess he.
And then Edge made sense, right? Edge made sense because he was technically retired, but then he got medically cleared after like 5 years, and then he came back. That made sense, but even still, it was a little ridiculous. They should have an angle where they took away his Hall of Fame thing. That would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Maybe Lita came out and took it away,
and then they made him go through a ladder match to get it back. No, I think it would have been great. But that's just my opinion.
I just got a reminder from Facebook telling me to be ready to start a show with you.
That's great.
I mean, what? Like, I went through Facebook Messenger. You set it. It's not like we went through. Did you set a reminder on Facebook to tell us and stuff? Because I don't set reminders. Like, hey, I put it on my iPhone if I needed a reminder. I'm just saying that's why I couldn't get through StreamYard before. It was like, oh, your timer. I was like, I didn't set up a timer for shit, dude. I'm not smart enough for that shit.
I always set up a timer.
That's what I'm saying. I don't. You're the smart. That's on you, bro. You're smart enough to do that. Don't be putting me on your shit. No, I'm joking, dude.
But again, people say, Andrew, why don't you use OBS? Why don't you do other things? And I'm like, you gotta realize that if I use StreamYard, it does all of it for me. And yeah, am I limited in doing certain things? Sure. Is it going to work 98% of the time perfectly? Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. They could have my $240 a year if it works 98 to 99% of the time perfectly.
I've used OBS. I've had OBS. If you're not, and I'm not a computer genius, like I could only use the parts that I could use that were already set up for me. I diverted it all. I pressed like a wrong thing. It would not work. Like, I hated that fucking thing. StreamYard was a stream. There was another one like Streamlab or something. I don't know who else I used.
There was Streamlab, and then there was another one where like there was something with Skype that worked back in the day that directly streamed. and I used to do interviews and stream them through Skype, which was cool. So again, a lot of stuff has evolved, but like there's a reason why I pay for a service because I don't have to set up a damn thing. And I might be smart enough to understand technology, but a lot of this I don't want something to go wrong and then have an issue of a bigger problem. But I digress.
My biggest issue is when I do a Wednesday night podcast. I do it. I stream it from my phone because we go to the Waffle House. And when you do it from your phone, you have to log in. You have to do all this shit. It's not as easy as going through here and shit. But I digress, motherfucker. No, I'm joking, dude.
That's okay. That's okay. You can digress as you want.
So Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns they've done talked. We'll watch that, and that'll give us something to talk about next week.
It is what it is. I don't even give a damn.
I don't really give a damn either. I'm excited. The only reason I'm gonna watch is to see, like you said, I'm excited. Like, what's even the point? Like, do they not have anything else going on but the bloodline?
They started too soon. They should have, after the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, they should have started heating this thing up the week before Elimination Chamber, create that problem of this swerve. But then again, we all know why they did the swerve, and it worked beautifully, and it got them out of a really, really bad situation.
It did work fine. I don't like how they're like. I understand everything is creating in wrestling. I get all that. I don't like the very quick creation of this bloodline shit and Roman Reigns ahead of the table and Rock's already had to like check up and checked on it and shit. Like maybe Roman should have like beat up on the Rock one time. Maybe Roman and the Rock should have went and then Roman beat up on the Rock. Like maybe Rock would be even more accepted as a movie star again if he got his ass kicked a little bit on wrestling. Like maybe wrestling fans would be like, let's show Rock some love again. We watched him get his ass kicked.
I don't know though. See, I think The Rock, I don't know if The Rock is going to have another major movie. He had a bunch of good stuff and he was great and he was absolutely wonderful in that. But I don't know because I think things have changed now. And I think things have changed on how.
What Rock movie are you rewatching like all the time?
No,
what
I mean,
Rock, I'm being serious. I'm asking you a legit question. I'm not talking shit. I'm just asking like, what movie are you like? Oh, I gotta pop this in. I love this movie.
Let's see. Walking Tall is always a good one.
Oh, dude, I do love Walking Tall, but I rewatched that recently because I watched the free movies on YouTube because that's part of my YouTube channels. I review, so I give my top 10 list every week, and I love Walking Tall. They had the original Walking Tall and the Rock Walking Tall, and I love that movie. But the Rock one doesn't really hold up that well. I mean, it's still like it wasn't as good as I remembered it. I know that for sure.
Jungle Cruise was great. No, Jungle Cruise was bad.
I didn't watch Jungle Cruise.
I'll save you some time. Let's just say the ride is much better than the movie.
Yeah, I think I mean, even like what was that that one with the big gorilla and the fucking werewolf Rampage? Like how like that could have been a pretty decent Godzilla type werewolf Kong type of situation, but for some reason they fucked it up. Like why couldn't these like animals just somehow mutate up and then start destroying cities? And The Rock has to come and stop it. That's it.
Let me tell you the last good thing that I seen with The Rock. It wasn't even a movie.
No, I'm fucking with you.
What'd you say?
I said Scorpion King. I was fucking with you.
He was in Scorpion King. What the fuck?
I know he was.
Anyway, my point is that what was great about the last good thing I saw was him in the 5-Time Club with Tom Hanks on SNL.
Oh.
And they talk about how they're going to run for being president and they're going to be co-presidents. And they're going to be like, Tom Hanks is like, when America needs somebody, I'll be the calm president. I'll reassure America. And then The Rock's like, when we need to get some shit done, I will go in there myself and get it done. I'll be the president who will get it done, and I will lead the team in. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen because it wasn't wrong. And then, oh, it was great.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. I do not remember that one. I watch a lot of Saturday Night Live, but I'll look it up, dude, for real. Yeah, I can't really. I mean, and that's you brought up a fucking SNL sketch about a movie star, a man that is. We go to the box office and see like. I mean, I can't
That's
even.
my point. That's my point, though. Isn't that my point? My point is that I don't know if I think things have changed, and I think it's the idea that I haven't been to a movie theater in a while. Like I go see like anime films, right? And then
Yeah.
I'll go see like things at Phantom events. So
Yeah.
I don't go to the movies anymore. And when I do go, it is a special event, and that's how I'm going.
Yeah, I only go to see movies that I really want, like my superhero movies and shit. Like I'll go see Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3.
What?
I'm gonna go see Deadpool 3.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm saying. Like I only go see movies that I know like I really want to go see. You know, everything else I can wait for it to come out. If I want to, I'll fucking Pirate Bay that bitch if I have to. If I really got to see it so bad that you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not need that much.
my point is that I think culture has changed. I think stars have changed, and I think concepts have changed. But I digress. It's not. I don't want to dive too much into this because we're gonna get so off track on this.
Yeah, we're off in the weeds right now, man.
We are off in the weeds.
I digress. I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with you. But
you know what we should do? We should bring back the 90s.
Okay, totally, Ashley. You fucking. How about
Scandalous?
Oh my god, you fucking. All right, show's over. Bye.
No, I actually reached out to two of them, and it's Ashley A and Ashley Q, and I'm trying to get both of them on my show.
That'll be a scandalous episode, bro. You're trying to get a little three-way with the Ashleys. That's don't tell them. Are you gonna let them know like, hey, taking you both to the pie? Are you trying to get them both on at the same time, or you want to do them separately?
This is so terrible. You took an innocent child's cartoon and you made it dirty. Congratulations.
I'm almost positive that's I did not do shit.
I was coming from an innocent, wholesome position, and you clearly went a different direction.
I did. I went a different direction. Did we miss anything in the world of wrestling?
Not really. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, I didn't think there was really. I think we kind of covered everything.
Let's put it this way, right? There's a lot of stuff going on, but in reality, the big picture here, we didn't miss anything major.
And I think that's. I understand that we're on the road to WrestleMania and that's all, but shouldn't there be major shit going on like every week?
The issue is that they're gonna put it together in the next 3 weeks, the next 2.5 weeks. It's all gonna come together.
I get that it's all gonna come together, but shouldn't they be making like major moves happen like every week? Shouldn't that be like? I mean. Is like because every live event, Raw and SmackDown's a live event. Isn't the wrestling business built off a live event?
The only other major event that really happened is that Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné or Money, whatever you want to call her, pretty much debuted in AEW, and she's making over $10 million a year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Good for her, right? Good for her.
That is really good for her. Really good for her. But I mean, really and truly, if we think about it for a second, like how many other businesses get paid to make like their product? You know what I mean? Like on top of making their product, like they get paid twice for making WWE or AEW or anybody gets paid for their house show, and then when they videotape that house show, they get paid to whatever network they're sending that house show to. So that's double dipping. I just thought of that when we were like that. That just kind of enraged me. Like
You mean they sell tickets to a house? So basically, what you're saying is that they sell tickets to the stadium for Monday Night Raw,
yeah,
and then they sell advertisements and TV rights for the same Monday Night Raw.
yeah.
Good on them, man. Good on them. I mean, I double dip.
It is good on them, but it just kind of make like
I double dip on my show. I mean, I'm putting ads in my micro content now, and it's awesome. So I have a sponsor for my main show when I do it,
yeah.
and then I sell ads on all my micro content, and it's great.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I get that.
I'm getting paid, and then once I get 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be monetized.
There you go.
So now I'm going to be triple dipping, and then we take that money and I invest it, collect my dividends, and now I'm quadruple dipping, and then I get the growth, and then it gets reinvested, and it just continues, and the cycle moves on. And so I am quadruple dipping, and people think I'm moronic, and they make fun of me for my advice, and that's why I stopped offering it.
Wow.
But for you, I'll happily offer you any advice you want.
Well, we need to talk. So after we ever get a show done before fucking 3:00 in the morning. Or
it was one time, Keenan. It was one time.
It's almost every time. Like we've gone a decent amount of time every single time we.
It was one time, Keenan. It was one time, and we were working through a major issue with wrestling. It was one time, Keenan. It was one time.
Major issue.
We were in a very shitty situation with Vince McMahon. Come on.
So it's constant. Like I think I just saw something. Like is it constant that I saw something about Stephanie McMahon might have known some shit too?
I mean, she's done some shit. I don't know what shit.
No, not done some shit, but she knew some shit. Or like she kept her mouth shut. Like she knew. I saw something about it somewhere. I just saw it. All right, well, let's talk about since we talked about all the wrestling, we're gonna talk about and then shit else happening. Big Trouble in Little China. This guy says he's a Kurt Russell fan, but he never seen the movie Big Trouble in Little China.
It was good, man. I enjoyed
Kurt Russell, John Carpenter. It's a classic film. You enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, it was great.
All right. So when the movie started, what were your initial impressions? Like the beginning of it, just getting started. Like what did you think you were in store?
So I knew it was going to be an action film and kind of an adventure, but I did not realize it was going to kind of go and throw somebody into a conflict and an ancient battle, and I mean, the way I kind of felt it was that it was kind of like a John Carpenter movie, like John Carpenter taking Mars and, being transported into leading a war, essentially kind of like the comics. And I did not expect it to go that way. I thought it was going to be more like Bullet Train.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, this is definitely something where, and I thought it was going to be a little bit more like Kill Bill and Bullet Train, had almost like a baby or in that vein, I guess. And it was more along the lines of the John Carpenter comics, of him taking Mars and stuff like that, and kind of being not transported into a different time, but being thrown into a conflict and then just rolling with it. And it was good. It was not what I was expecting on that front as a plot line, but the action was what I was expecting.
Well, the movie's like what? I think it's like a quick hour and a half, maybe less than an hour and a half. I mean, that motherfucker is like just boom, 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 boom. You could almost show that entire thing in like 3 videos on TikTok or some shit.
No. So that was not what, I guess, the underlying plot. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So,
from us talking about it, so you say you like it. Did it meet your expectations from shit that I said and just?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it met the expectations, but I wasn't unhappy. Does that make any sense? Like I didn't really have any major expectations going into it. And I just I was like, okay, cool. This is kind of what I expected it to be. as far as an action, an 80s movie, a solid 80s movie. And
See,
I
that's the
mean, there
worst
you go.
part as well. You're seeing it from a grown-up size too. Like, imagine being a fucking like 5, 6 year old kid popping in a VHS tape and just watch. I've seen Big Trouble in Little China maybe as many times as I've seen some of my kids and shit. Like that. That's how much I've seen this damn movie.
That's also probably why you have a different position on it, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, not to take a step off of this, but I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender as a 11-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole show, 11, 12, 13, 14. That has a different opinion, even going into adulthood when I'm 30, 31, because I
Right.
have certain memories of it that are pleasant memories. And I've seen that show a lot. So for you've seen it from the eyes of a child, and then also growing up every single year.
Mm-hmm.
I see it for the first time as a 31-year-old. So I'm gonna have a different opinion on it. And I'm also not an 80s baby. I'm a 90s, early 2000s baby.
Yeah, I know. I agree. That's why. That's why. I mean, for what it's worth, it's good. Like I could see it. Like even seeing it. Like if you had to pay it for it to go see it in a movie theater right now, you'd be like, yeah, I'm probably gonna. If you had to pay like money to see that shit, you might be, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I mean, everybody's favorite character is Jack fucking Burton in the Pork Chop Express. But you have any other favorite characters besides like Jack Burton?
Not really. I mean, he's the driving force. Like I don't know what to tell people. It's like we're following him, and then also it's just like the moment, like when they getting shot at, and they're gonna say, on the count of three, we're gonna open up the door, and then he opens the door and then he shuts it really quickly. Like that type of stuff
Yeah.
is really, really funny. And then also what was they were in the sewer or like they were in the pool, and he's like, don't touch me, I can't focus, and like you're touching me. I thought that was really funny. I thought that was really I had to watch that scene a few times to get it. I'll be the first to admit it, but I thought that was really funny. I thought that was really
A quick did you know it was supposed to be an ensemble movie. Kurt Russell, Jack Burton was just supposed to be a part of the ensemble. The main character was supposed to be Wang. That's why he's got all the kicking ass parts. Like when I was a kid, I thought it was a Green Hornet thing. Like Wang was just like the Kato, could whip everybody's ass, and Jack Burton was the Green Hornet that didn't really fucking matter. But no, Wang was supposed to be from the beginning, top billing. That's why he's going after his girl that he loves, and blah blah blah, and everything's to fight for her, and he's got the katana blade and shit like that. No, they decided that they get better marketing going after Kurt Russell, but that still flopped. It still flopped.
so.
Uh,
Let me ask this
yeah.
because, I mean, the way I view this movie is that it's a cult classic in a lot of ways,
Yes.
where I don't think it was a failure in the long run,
No.
but it was rough in how it was released. And it's interesting, right? When a movie flops, but it obviously has a major cultural impact, it's tricky because there's a lot of stuff that's been like that in our society that has changed, I guess, the matrix or the Geist or whatever you want to call it. And because even when I was watching, I'm like, how did this movie flop? It kind of had a lot of stuff in it that was, I think, decent for the
Well,
'80s.
I had a couple of things written down, but they didn't put any advertising behind it at all. Like if you look at like a poster for back in the day, it's drawn out, and Kurt Russell doesn't even look the same on the fucking poster. Like you can barely tell. Like from the poster, it's just all fucked up. Like they put nothing behind it, and I think that a lot of our cult classics are because they were flops first, and you go to the movie store and you have 15 Big Trouble in Little Chinas, but then I forget what else came out that year, but all the rest of them are gone. Or you can buy Big Trouble in Little China and put it on cable once a day for a year and a half. And you can only get the next big movie once a month. So you're going to see a lot of Big Trouble in Little China.
Did you also feel, because obviously I used to be a big Pop Funko fan, and that's obviously a collectible toy type thing. And just recently, a bunch of Big Trouble in Little China Pop Funkos came out, and I don't know if it was like the 30th anniversary, or the 40th, or whatever it was, but it was interesting that a toy came out from a movie that just is a lot older.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's also the idea that there's also more possibility now and there's more access to this, because VHS, obviously, when I don't know what it was like in the 80s, right? I don't know if VHS was upper middle class, right? Maybe. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you from an '80s baby. In my house we had like some shelvings on the wall, like they were just built into the apartment, and on these shelvings, I mean, it was like 3 or 4 of them. There was just VHS after VHS after VHS, like 2 or 3 rows high on each shelf. So I
So
could just go there and fucking pick
let me
one out.
ask. Yeah, I mean, I have a real. There's a reason why I'm asking is that
Yeah.
when you got a VCR back in the day, was it a big deal in your house being in the 80s?
I don't know. We always had a VCR. I have no idea. And that might have been like my grandmother had a little bit of money and maybe like she kept my mom or something okay stuff. I don't know. I just know that I always had I can't remember a time not having a VCR.
Because I remember having a VCR, and then I remember having a DVD player, and then I remember when we got a Blu-ray player in my house, when those first came out, that it was a really big deal, right?
Yeah.
And converter Blu-ray player, and then you got a bunch of Blu-rays, right? And I remember that growing up, and I remember it being an awesome position. If you're like, "Oh, you have a Blu-ray player? What's that?" So again, there was always a VCR. Then the VCR got, I guess, pushed out, and then it became a DVD player, and then it became a DVR, and then it became streaming, and then it's not sexy anymore. But I guess the point is that I remember when Netflix first came out, and you were getting the DVDs in the mail, because
Yeah.
I think this also is relevant to this movie potentially being, a cult classic, is that it became accessible with VCRs and people being able to watch it on their own time. And I think that that's just so interesting, because I think it holds up well.
Yeah, the VCR, and then you gotta think like all those things came out at the same time. VCRs, cable, like all that shit came out at the same time. So, like you said, it's accessibility. Like not only like before all that came out, something like Big Trouble in Little China might go out into the movies and just die a slow death, and you wouldn't hear anything about it, and maybe it wouldn't become a cult classic now, but because it came out in the '80s and it had access to cable and access to VCRs, then boom, you're done. You become a cold hit. Just how
So,
it
so,
goes.
so let me ask this too. Do you feel that the 80s, though, are right now also making a comeback? Because right now the 90s are really hot, but things
The
like,
'90s are high. I think we're coming up on the 2000s. I think that's what the
because
next.
the reason why I asked this is that Transformers came out in the 80s and
Yeah,
Thundercats came out in the 80s. And right now, one of the two hottest comic properties are the Transformers and the Thundercats.
Thundercats, bitch.
Oh, yeah, I love the Thundercats. They're amazing. I mean, I was a camp counselor, and we were doing our camp theme was Legends of the Hidden Temples.
Yeah,
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
yeah,
And so,
Nickelodeon.
oh, great, 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 great. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. The documentary on HBO Max about Nickelodeon.
Nice. I think I've already seen it.
About the Predators.
Yeah. I think I've seen that. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I'm really curious about it, but I digress on that one. I don't want to dive into that too much. I don't think it's a pleasant story.
Probably
I think
not.
it's a fascinating story. I don't think it's a pleasant story. But one of the things is that I was the Panthers as my huddle group, and instead of doing a traditional Panther, I did the Thundercat symbol.
There you go.
So I put all my campers about the Thundercats. So like every day I have Thundercat facts time during lunch. It was amazing. It was legitimately the coolest huddle. And one day, everybody, if you were the huddle of the day, which is some BS, but I was the huddle of the day on a Friday, and they had this morning assembly talk show, and it was funny because you're in if you're into the Thundercats, and like my sign was up there. Oh, it was great. It was great. It was absolutely great. But anyway,
Hilarious.
this is a massive distraction.
So did any so you said Jack Burton's your only favorite character. Any other characters stand out? Like, Wang was a secondary, but what about like the grandpa that I forget his name. I did not look up. I probably should have looked up his name, but I didn't know.
I mean, there were characters that stood out. I like the fact that like the girl Jack was into was around, and I liked her. But again, I watched it and I just enjoyed it. Like I didn't put too much thought into this.
Kim Cattrall, the girl. Have you ever seen the movie Porky's?
I have not.
All right, we're not going to talk about it, but you need to watch the same girls in this movie called Porky's, and there's one scene that you'll love. You'll love the entire movie because you're that type of guy. But I'm telling you, watch the movie Porky's. You'll love it. But I digress. Kim Cattrall, yeah, she had she was the white girl with the green eyes. She had to put contact lenses in to make her eyes green. They hurt her so bad that she was basically blind when you had to see her in the green eyes. She could not see the camera or co-stars, any of that shit when she was given the green eyes.
I guess she was green with envy then.
Well, it was really the Asian girl with green eyes in it. I got two girls with green eyes. Oh, bitch. Come on.
So let me ask you this about the movie, right?
Yeah.
The movie is Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
So obviously it had some Asian elements into it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how you felt about representation, because the way I feel is that I don't think it was perfect. And I'm being very honest, where I think
it was not perfect at all, man. I mean, Jack Burton, he literally I think he makes a couple Asian jokes like right off the bat.
But then again, and this is the part where I think people might get upset with me, is that I don't think it was terrible either. Meaning, I don't because I think it's hard sometimes to judge. Where if we judge that movie in 2024, it goes to a point where the movie was made in 86 or 87.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good movie. I think the representation is what it is. Me and you can accept the representation, enjoy the representation. I don't think anybody that was born, any Asian person that was born before like 2010 is gonna, or maybe born after 2000 is gonna understand what's going on with that shit. For any Asian born after the year, 2000 probably isn't gonna get it. Maybe or born before that. I don't know.
I mean, the way I explain it is that, did you see Shang-Chi by any chance?
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Comedian?
The what?
What, the comedian or?
No, the Marvel movie, Shang-Chi.
Oh, Shang-Chi. Yeah, my bad, dude. I thought you said Shang-Chi. I
felt that Shang-Chi was very good on representation of Chinese and Asian culture. And was it also perfect? No, there were things that could have been better in that movie, but that was a really good example where Marvel paid real attention to it.
Right. No, I mean, I thought so too, but again, I don't think it's up to me or you on situation. And I'm not saying that anything that we say are gonna put us through the ring or anything like that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have an opinion on it, but I think it's up to Asian. Like,
my
Irish white boy movie out there. I'd be like, that shit ain't happening, Mecca. They're treating us like crap, bro. I am better than that Winter Hill gang. Those aren't real fucking Irish people, dude. That whole Boston type shit.
The point I'm getting at is that I really feel that you could say that something is not up to 2024 standards, but it's also hard to say in a movie that was made almost 40 years ago. Like it's hard to hold things. Like I don't know how you're supposed to do that, and it's a complicated question because how do I hold a movie from 40 years ago up to certain standards, and then that's where this gets tricky. And so, but I also think that if you go into the movie and say, look, this is a movie and this is where we stand, like, because in reality, the movie was that some guy gets thrown into an ancient battle and has to sort of pick a side and he just wants to survive the fight and kind of impress the girl and his newfound friends, right? I mean, we could have taken, I mean, if you boil the story down to what it is, that's what it is, right?
Well, yeah, I mean it's a western. The outlaw comes to town, or the sheriff comes to town, saves the day, then he has to leave the town
And save another town.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean Jack Burton always says, I don't remember any of the Pork Chop Express things that he said, but I mean those are life lessons, and I mean it's just you take the movie for what it is and you take it with a grain of salt, just like when you know people's parents say shit like it's a different time. They come from a different time. What do you want me to say? Like same thing with me. Like when I was coming up, like can't tell you how many white kids used to say the N word all the time, and that was okay. It's come back to then.
I'll put it this way: my grandmother, God rest her soul, loved that woman, but came from a different time. And so she would use words and statements and view things, and I'm like, but that kid's going to Harvard. And like she's like, he dresses poorly. And it's like, but he's going to Harvard. And that's the point though, is that again, culture changes and every generation is different. And I guarantee you that when I'm 60 and or even when I'm 40, and if I have a 15-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old, they're gonna have different views than I do. And they're gonna be in a different culture environment. So it's gonna be acceptable to them is not necessarily how I grew up.
I agree. I tell a joke. I went to dinner with my uncles, and we're enjoying our dinner. It's a nice meal, and one of my uncles says something about the blacks. Whatever else he said did not like really matter. I decided not to stop the entire meal and like correct my uncle. So we're driving home, and my other uncle states, "Oh, the blacks only understood what really happened in the Civil War." I'm like, hold on, guys. Let's not refer to a race of people by the color of their skin anymore. Do you like being referred to as the whites? Because I don't really care, but I'm not a fan of it. And I was like, number two, like, we should not be the ones trying to school anyone on the fucking Civil War. If you want to like divert somebody to the History Channel or some shit, but do not bring. Come on, guys. We look at me. My uncles look even older and worse than this. So come on now, guys. What are we doing, my dudes? I'll never forget that shit. But like you said, they're from a different time. And like I remember when he said, like, the blacks only understood what really happened. Yeah, it's about states' rights to own people. So we had to stop that shit. But I digress.
I thought the Civil War was all about killing Lincoln.
No, that happened afterwards. There's a show on Apple right now called Manhunt, all about John Wilkes Booth.
I know. So I was in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
So I used to live in DC, and then it was like Labor Day weekend, so I had a 4-day weekend. So I decided to go to Maryland for some wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see independent wrestling. It was awesome. It was awesome. And what I learned about Maryland is that they have immaculate firehouses because the firehouse is a central part of the community. So I didn't know this, but apparently in certain parts of Maryland, it's Confederate territory from the Civil War. So I visited like 4 or 5 Confederate POW camps. And I'm like, this is really, really interesting. Talking about the Civil War, where people forget that you travel 60 miles outside of DC, you are in a very interesting part of the world.
Yeah.
My
My only thought about the John Wilkes show is like they're cutting it kind of
and
close.
let me explain. So the reason how this relates to that is that I went and I passed Dr. Mutt's house, who
Yeah.
treated John Wilkes Booth's leg when he broke it and jumped off of the stage with Lincoln. And I
Yeah.
was tempted to go visit the house and stop by, but we passed by it, and there just wasn't enough time when I was down there. But I'm like, that's a really interesting part of history, and I love history. So
It's an interesting part of history. And the show so far, I mean, Patton Oswalt's playing a dramatic part in it. It's pretty good. So far, so good. My only thought was y'all couldn't put it a couple of months after Black History Month, like the end of March. Like you couldn't have enough in the Apple schedule.
You know why they put it right? Lincoln was killed on, I think, like a Palm Sunday or Good Sunday, like right before Easter.
Was he?
I think he was killed. I think next Friday was when he was killed.
Well, I mean, like, see, I didn't even know that. So, what is that really like? That we don't celebrate his like that kind of ruins like Easter Sunday and shit. I'm gonna mention that
we
on.
didn't celebrate it because you could. It's. Why would you celebrate Lincoln's death, which means you're celebrating the assassination that John Wilkes Booth committed? I mean, it's all about how you look at things.
Bring it up at family dinner on this Easter. We're doing a quick like early Easter thing on Saturday. I'm gonna bring up like John, that Lincoln died like recently. Like it's coming up, guys. I don't know if you knew this.
Happy John Wilkes Booth Assassination Day.
I was working on this joke, like you call a dude that's really good with the ladies a lady killer. I was like, well, why don't like more people like? Why don't you call him? Oh, my son's gonna be a real Ted Bundy, or my son's gonna be a real O.J. Simpson, like type of lady killer type of shit.
The last time I picked up a girl was because of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, you told me this.
I should tell the story live, right?
You told the story live. I'm almost positive that the first time you told me was live.
I probably did, but it's been a while. So
tell the story again, man.
Okay, so I go into a bar and I'm with my friend, and my friend is a lot more good looking than I am. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem saying that. And so what ended up happening is that he said, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." So I said, "I'll go in, man. I'm not gonna wait for you. I'm a grown ass man. I can handle myself in a bar, right?" So I go to the bar. I've been there a few times. The bartender kind of knows who I am a little bit, because I got hammered there on my 21st birthday. It was amazing. The whole night was amazing. On my 21st birthday, crazy night, awesome experience. Everybody should have one of those. But anyway, so they kind of knew who I was. I just order a Bud Light, and I speak to her before I order. She puts me off. Then I order a Bud Light, and then my friend Eric comes. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend Eric. He's fighting Brock Lesnar tomorrow night." Immediately, the girl was disarmed. Immediately, like I saw it from her head to her toe, and my objective was to introduce her to my friend Eric and hook up my friend Eric because he was driving me. And if I figured out if I took care of my friend Eric, I would be taken care of on the back end. This is how I think, right? Not saying that just to like make an introduction to a girl and then he'll hit it off and then it'll come back to me in spades, right?
Right.
So it turns out that me and her just start talking about this, and then she's like, and then Eric's like, "Do you know who Brock Lesnar is?" And it's like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's a WWE champ, he's a UFC former champ, and I think he's fighting tomorrow night, like Cain Velasquez." And nobody in their right mind thinks my friend Eric could take Brock Lesnar in a fight. But what wound up happening is that it just disarmed her, and then we just started speaking, and then like I was just controlling the whole conversation. And then there was a guy who was into her who came with her and her friends to the bar, and she just brushed him off. And here I am, and I'm like, and so like he was trying to get in, and like he was like nerdy, and he got friend zoned. And then like she went to the bathroom, and I said to my friend, I said, "They're talking about me and potentially you right now." And she's gonna come back a little bit bitchy, but then she's gonna turn like 45 seconds in, sweet back, in which she's gonna shit test me. And then Eric is, and then that's exactly what happened. I was like, "Bro, how are you calling this? how are you calling this? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's the storyline.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was almost as good as the time in my senior year where I had passing ships with women.
Yeah.
I don't think I told you this story, did I?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we have an event called Quad Jam, and everybody gets hammered in Quad Jam. You have a band out there, and so I'm drinking with this girl, Lauren, and her friend Kelsey, and I'm just in my room, and I have a bunch of alcohol. I bought like 236 racks, so about 2 racks, 36 beers, plenty of alcohol. I got some I got like a freaking mini bar in my room, way illegal, way over the top that you should not have. But I don't really care because what are they going to do? Write me up? Great. I'm 22. So, okay. So they're drinking, we're having a good time. And then they wanted to get out of there. And so they were peacing out. And then I text these other 2 girls, this girl, Allison, and this girl, Sasha. And what wound up happening is that right as Lauren and Kelsey were leaving, my door opens up and Allison and Sasha walk in. And I'm just sitting in my chair like this. My door is straight ahead. And then right as they're leaving, you can see these 4 women just looking at each other, like in the eyes saying, what the fuck? And what do we do now? And I just hit there and they all kind of look at me and I'm just smirking, like, yeah, this happens all the time. and it was amazing because and then I tell this story to people who are like, I get it. People have a vision of this story in their head because it was passing ships, just being like 4 women who had no idea how to react to a situation.
Right.
It was amazing.
So no, I get it, man.
And then I wanted to drink a lot more and I had a great night.
But I digress.
I forget who was playing that Quad Jam. It wasn't that Quad Jam was something else too. Do you know who Big Crit is by any chance?
Who?
Big Crit?
No, not that I know of. I don't know.
Some dumbass on the soccer team at my college decided to throw a beer bottle at Big Crit and like hit him in the head.
Jesus, like I don't know, but I don't know who Big Cred is. But it doesn't. I mean, with a name like Big Cred, I wouldn't be throwing beer bottles at him and shit.
I don't know. And so on Twitter for like a good 48 hours, it was Big Crit got domed. It's so ridiculous.
Right.
The fact that Manhattanville College is trending on Twitter worldwide, Big Crit got domed, was like the tweet that got like legit like 1.5 million freaking tweets in like 48 hours. And I'm like, this is my freaking college, man. This is amazing. This is amazing. Oh, it was great. I had a good time at college. Let's leave it at that.
You sure you want to? You want to tell stories?
Why not? We all have stories.
Tell you want to let. It might not. I mean, if you want to, let's hear them. Look. I went to culinary school. I didn't go to college like that, so.
Dude, you've had a blast in life, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, I had a great time, man. It was the chef is like being a fucking cop, bro. Like it's like wearing a suit of armor, dude. Like you don't even know. Like, I got so many girls like, oh, you can cook, and like I don't know why. And plus, I could talk just a little bit, so it went pretty well.
I get treated well because what I've learned in my life, and I don't know about you, is that if you don't be a dick and you can make people laugh, you can get away with murder.
Oh I definitely know that.
The only reason why I've gotten anything in my life is because I'm smart enough to read a room and read people. I know when and where I can push and pull.
Right.
I know what not to touch. And people say, oh, you can't speak to these people. You can't speak to these people. And my response to all of that is, when you pay my bills, you get to tell me what I can and can't do.
Beyonce again. Call back to the bills.
No. If you want to pay my cell phone bill, you have a say. Your opinion matters only when you put money where your mouth is.
My opinion doesn't matter because I don't want to pay your shit at all, bro. So
No. If you and me, we've had this discussion last week. We're having a discussion about where we're going to go with this show, and we're both 50% owners.
yeah.
That's different because now we are talking about money equivalency, where if you say, hey, I want to talk about movies, I'm fine with that, right? If you say, hey, I want to take this into a different direction, we could talk about it. But if I say to you, look, I don't want to do the show without you and I just need a week off, you know, it's also understandable. Like I want to watch the Hall of Fame WWE. We may or may not do a show that day, but that's a fair position. Or like, for instance, if I had a kid and my kid was just born, it might be that we take a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, especially right now or anything, and we're not on a set schedule or anything. And I think anything can be, talked about now, especially like, oh, we haven't done like. I mean, I don't want to talk about like I said, like there's nothing that's gonna happen right after WrestleMania anyway, so we can let that shit marinate. I don't know what the show's gonna be like after WrestleMania because I'm not gonna be fucking talking. I'm my next day after WrestleMania is SummerSlam, bro.
I was speaking to somebody and we're speaking about creation and comics. The guy Sean, which has created controversy apparently with certain people, and apparently people want to use my content in their freaking chess game, which is a whole different discussion, and it's not a pleasant one. So I'm gonna back off on that topic. But the idea is what Sean was saying is that the first step in when you create something with somebody is, are you having fun doing it?
Right.
Table money out of all of this, right? Money's great, but are you having fun doing something? I mean, look, what am I going to do on my Friday? I do my Whatnot show, and then I would legitimately watch Law and Order, and I would probably pour myself a beer or two. So I'm drinking a beer anyway, or an adult soda. I don't know what I can and can't say. It's an adult soda, but I'd rather hang out with you and have my adult soda.
And like I said, I keep up with it. And like if there's something, like I keep up with Jim Cornette. Like if I scroll through and see something, I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to that. But I have learned like I watch Jim Cornette more on YouTube because that dude does like 4-hour shows and shit.
Only
like
4
you.
hours? Only 4 hours?
This motherfucker. And it's like AEW, WWE, all this shit is just like, dude, I don't want to listen to you. And then
I can't take it, man. I can't. I mean, there's only so much fucking time in my day, man.
Well, he'll make me fall asleep, and I'll like, so I don't listen to, I don't hear his shit anyway. So I'll be sitting there. I'll have to like kind of guess where it is, and a lot of it, they'll put their clips up on YouTube. So I mean, I just watch his YouTube clips and shit.
There's only so much time in the day. I have a life.
Well, his shows used to be like about a hour and a half long, but that was before they started reviewing everything. Then they started reviewing AEW and WWE, and his shows used to be like old school, just answering questions and shit. And they still do that somewhat, but ever since all this shit happened with AEW and Vince McMahon, it's just everyone's asking him to talk about new shit. So he's talking about new shit. So.
Oh man, I'm in a tricky situation. I don't want to keep that card. I have to be an adult though. Fuck.
Be an adult.
I should sell it, and then I should invest their profits into the stock market.
It's probably what you should do.
I know.
You don't want to though.
I like the card a lot. And that's the problem. I've this tendency that I want to buy toys for me. I also had a really tough week, and that's the thing. It's $100 card, and I'm like, I'll put it this way: I'm making an offer to somebody. If they accept my offer, I'll be thrilled. If they don't accept my offer, I'll hold on to it for a while.
Yeah, there you go. You can always sell it in the future, man. You don't have to fucking get it done. Well, you want to get finished with this movie, or we're gonna be fucking up all
Yeah,
night?
yeah, we should talk about the movie. You have questions. And I have
No,
an idea.
I don't really have questions. I want to talk about the shit and get it done. How do you think the film balanced action and comedy elements? Because I thought the movie, Jack Burton's fun. That's what I think Kurt Russell really signed on for at the beginning, was to be the funny. I don't, because he didn't know how to do shit. The dude could barely fucking fight. He didn't. Did he throw even? Yeah, he threw kind of a punch. Maybe.
I thought it did a good job, man. I thought it did a good job.
I thought he did a really good job. Do you know that The Rock was signed on for a reboot at one point?
What is with you and The Rock, man? What is with you and your obsession with The Rock? Why do you like rocks, man? Shouldn't you like gravel
I clean rocks.
or stone?
And it's not my fault that I look up like did you knows on this fucking movie.
I'm messing with you on a new level. I'm messing with you on a new level.
I know you are. What's up?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was. Luckily, it fizzled out because The Rock. Jack. The whole reason it worked, like I said, it was the Green Hornet kind of motif. Green Hornet was just this white dude that couldn't really get shit done, and then you had Kato just kicking ass. That's what Wang was. That's what when I watched the movie as a kid, that's what I thought that's what I thought it was. Kind of the Green Hornet-ish type of shit, but it wasn't. Like I said, I told you the Watch Her and Porky's, Kim Cattrall. Like I said, it was supposed to be, they had it written as a Western at the beginning. It's supposed to be like a spaghetti Western type of shit, and you can still see all those. I think it's still a Western.
It is a Western. Who are we
freaking? San Francisco, he takes care of business, then he leaves.
What do you mean? That movie was in San Francisco. I'm messing with you.
And the actual creators of Mortal Kombat based Raiden on the lightning guy from the movie.
I mean, I enjoyed it, man. I think you picked a good one.
It's a good flick.
I enjoyed it, and I think that if somebody was born in 2015, I think they can find enjoyment in this movie. I really do, because I think that you have to realize it, but I think you have to buy into the fact that it was made in the 80s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
once you get beyond that position, you're fine, because if you boil it down, it's just one of those things. And right now, I mean, the 90s are right now hot, but I think that part of the 80s are hot too right now.
What are some of the real? I don't want to get us in trouble. What are the moments that? Because I haven't. I mean, I just watched the movie maybe a couple months ago. I didn't rewatch it for this thing because I just rewatched it. But what are because I'm trying to think of them. What are like some of the bad moments? Like,
I think it is what I think it is that I think they made the enemies and the shooting scenes. They definitely, and I'm trying to say this the nicest way I could say it. They almost made it that they elevated the fact that the enemies were Asian. If that makes sense, and they made them so they're shooting with like their Uzis, right?
Yeah,
and it wasn't a heroic position, and it felt like, okay, we're not just we are clearly making it that they are Chinese, and that is bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Versus treating him as a villain, right?
Yeah.
So I'll use a better example. In The Lion King, when you look at Scar is just treated as a villain, right?
Yeah.
You don't get a sense of anything else. Now, it's an animated film, but Scar is just treated as a villain. He's not treated anything different than anything else. And I'm trying to think of another movie that does that well.
Right.
And I can't think of one at the moment, but there are anime, My Hero Academia, All for One. All for One is just treated as a villain.
Right.
So I've had a conversation with a guy named Dave Wald. Dave Wald is a voice actor, and we actually had a very interesting, very public conversation about gay washing. And I say this openly, and I mean, the interview is very public that we did together. And back in like the 80s, you would make a villain gay to further prove the point that he was a villain. And that's what they kind of did in this movie a little bit. And that's why this movie could be slightly offensive, I guess, that you went a step beyond just saying these are the enemies, right? Even if we look at Kill Bill, the Crazy 88s, you can make the argument that they definitely relied on elements of that they are Japanese. And we go back to the Pearl Harbor incident in World War II, touched upon that. Not saying Tarantino was wrong. I mean, those scenes were awesome. But there is an issue where that is baked in a little bit. Hopefully, I didn't get us into too much trouble.
No, you didn't get us into trouble. I'm sincerely trying to. I just didn't get that. Maybe that's from our differences in decades or whatever. I don't know. I know Jack Burton makes some iffy comments along the way, but I don't think that there's anything too terribly bad. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to rewatch it and
No. The only reason why I say that is that my best friend's wedding is coming up in June, and he's marrying a Chinese woman, and they've been a couple for the last 4 years. They're practically married.
Right.
I love Shelly. I love his wife, but I love my best friend more. I say to him all the time, if it doesn't work out, me and you can elope anytime you want. He understands it because we're both very, very, very heterosexual men.
Right.
It's funny. I'll tell a story to prove the point very quickly. Him and his girlfriend, who's now become his wife, were at my house and they were having a fight. And then she just slammed the door. And me and the rest of my friends were all dying with laughter. And my friend Gabe, he doesn't mind me telling the story. I was like, I'm really sorry, guys. I said, don't worry about it. It happens. And I said to my friend Gabe, if she doesn't allow you back in, you are more than welcome to sleep with me tonight. My friend Gabe says, as long as we get to cuddle.
Right.
But the only reason why I picked up on it is that when you're exposed to Chinese culture, you can say this could be problematic.
Right.
Again, but also I've thought about this, right? But I do also agree that I don't think it's as offensive as people think it is. Where I think my friend Gabe, his soon-to-be wife, could watch this movie and be like, yeah, it's a movie and it was from the 80s and they made a few not so great comments, but it's a fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, but she could also find like some of the womanly things offensive, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some of that shit in there. And I mean, really and truly, John Carpenter isn't known for his touchy-feely shit and reaching out to his, like the womanly side of shit. Like I don't know too many women that are like, oh, Escape from New York was my shit.
Escape from New York was a good movie.
No, it was a great Snake Plissken's the shit. But I'm saying like there not too many women like comment on, his shit, Women love Kurt Russell, but John Carpenter, nah, I could do without. That's what the ladies think. That's what the ladies think. But
look. I mean, let me ask this, right? Who was this movie supposed to appeal to?
Me.
Was it supposed to appeal to the idea that 8-year-old boys and 16-year-olds and maybe 21-year-old men and that demographic? I mean, was Big Trouble in Little China supposed to appeal to women, men, or was it supposed to appeal to 17-year-olds having a good time too?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was made for children or women. This was a guy movie. Whether it was teenagers to old guys, this was a guy movie. This was
because I mean, I mentioned this. I think I mentioned it live or maybe I didn't, but I watched Dirty Dancing. So my mom has the romance movie channel, right? And
yeah.
Dirty Dancing came on, and nobody puts baby in the corner, right?
No.
Oh my God, I love when Eminem used that lyric. Brilliant. One of the best philosophers of our time. Him and John Cena. But anyway,
I'm almost positive Eminem is not cool with you comparing or like putting him and John Cena in the same.
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. He is not in the same league as John Cena. I'm so glad you agree. You walked into it, dude. You walked into it. I'm sorry.
I know. I said Eminem's probably upset about it.
And I took a different position completely on
You
that
did.
for a reason.
You did.
I thought it was I know you do stand up. That's why I did it. I thought you were gonna respond with me something funny. Clearly I mishapped.
No, I'm over it. I'm not gonna risk. No, I'm joking. I
But
got spaghetti on my sweater already.
Dirty Dancing is a chick flick, right?
Yeah, but see, it's a chick flick,
right?
but no, it's a chick flick, but you got, fucking Swayze being a badass and kind of a tough guy. Like, yeah, but and especially in the 80s, like everything was kind of made for everybody back then. Like we got to make everybody happy as much as possible. There's got to be some guy stuff. There's got to be some girl stuff. There's got to be, maybe this is going to be, we got to put something in this movie to where the guys don't absolutely hate it. We gotta make, the girls that bring their boyfriends got to be somewhat happy. So, you got to see Patrick Swayze beat up some guys.
Oh, he was great in that movie. I love Dirty Dancing.
I like Dirty Dancing. I think it's a good movie, but I just think that it was more, it's technically a chick flick, but it's definitely not a chick flick as in like When Harry Met Sally type of shit.
I love Sally too.
I love it too, but I'm just saying, like, that's more of that is more of a chick flick than fucking Dirty Dancing is. But that's still around the same vein. Maybe You Got Mail. That's better. Dirty Dancing is not the same as You Got Mail. You Got Mail is a chick flick.
It's not the same as Bad Moms.
Have
you seen Bad Moms?
Yeah, the funny one.
The first one.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, I know.
I enjoyed Bad Moms.
I just do, but it's not a chick flick. Like Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. That shit's funny. Just because it's based on has a bunch of women in it doesn't mean it's a chick flick.
Hold on. What's a chick flick?
Where people are like rom-coms. That's what I see by chick flick. It's like rom-coms, kind of like a chick flick. Like I can laugh at a couple of funny women, like Bridesmaids. That's a chick flick, but it's not a rom. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It kind of hits you in the middle. Maybe I'm confusing rom-com and chick flick.
So I'm trying to figure out what is a chick flick versus because Bad Teachers was not a chick flick.
No, it wasn't a chick flick. No.
I enjoyed
Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel.
Jason Segel, I think Justin Timberlake was in there too.
Yeah, but that wasn't a chick flick. That was like a dark comedy with a lead actress. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with,
Because the reason why I bring all this up is that I view this movie as it accomplished its mission. Its mission was supposed to be a guy movie that you and your friends see, and then later on, because it became a cult classic, this is the type of shit that you watch with your friends where you all get hammered and you want to break from your girl.
Real quick, I just figured it out what a chick flick is. What a big difference. Easy. All the bad movies are chick flicks. All the good movies are made for dudes. That's an easy way. I was just sitting there, I was going through mine. I was like, oh, no, that's the problem. Good movies are made for men. bad movies are for the ladies.
Remind me when I get a girl and I get married, please, that I should create an arrangement. Don't watch any of my shows.
No, I'm so like my girl doesn't I asked when I first started doing this shit, I asked my girl like why don't you help me do this shit? Why don't we do it together? You know, doing my YouTube and all this shit. She literally said to me, I don't find you funny. I was like, bitch, I know I've made you laugh, motherfucker. I've heard you laugh at shit that I've said to you. No woman has ever just slept with me because they thought I was handsome. Motherfucker has to talk.
No way. No girl slept with me either because she thought I was handsome. That's actually not true. That's actually not true, but not the point. I know how to make somebody laugh, and I'm also fucking fearless, and not the Taylor Swift version.
My point is I'm not the dude that most of the time that a lady's like staring at from the end of the bar and she tells her homegirls, well, I'm leaving with that dude tonight. I'm totally fucking that guy. Like a lot of times I gotta go up to him and talk and make him laugh and blah blah blah. Do the whole rigmarole.
I see. That might be true.
You search for something, you come here he comes with a card or a comic.
I have weapons prepared. I always have weapons prepared. Just because some of us prepare for battle does not mean all of us are difficult. And the joke is now ruined.
The joke's hilarious because I've been over here making faces the entire time you've been over there talking. Like I've been acting like I'm choking myself and shit. I should have not said a word about it. So later, if you ever like cut it up or looked at this at any point, you'd be like, "This motherfucker Keenan's like making fun of me over here."
It's all right.
I was like this, like the entire time you were down there. I was like acting like I'm choking myself to death. It was hilarious.
I have a Travis Kelce comic, and I was gonna be like
Taylor Swift. You have a chat, so you make the
Taylor Swift comic ready to go. I absolutely have a Taylor Swift comic ready to go.
Is that a Taylor Swift comic?
It says Taylor Swift on it.
You're killing me, bro. All right. So I digress.
See,
maybe that should be the name of our show. I digress.
You didn't see the post like in January. I said Taylor Swift funded my Roth IRA, and everybody's like, "Explain, bro." And then once I explained, we were like, "Dude, what the hell, man? Your politics don't align with this." And people were shocked. And I'm like, "You really don't know me. You really don't know me." And that was the conversation. We were like, "Explain." Like people were perplexed, and I'm like, "I've been telling everybody for years this," and it was like, and I'm like, "This is the problem, right? You all hang out with people who don't get you rich, and you say I have no money, and then all the rich people say all I do is hang out with people who are rich, and I have money."
Oh, that's
and then all the rich people say I buy a jet ski, and I became happy. Because nobody's ever miserable on a jet ski.
Okay, is it Morbius? Mobius? Okay, Mobius.
Mind blown.
Are you gonna start doing magic tricks or some shit now? Like, is this how fucking deep into that beer are you? Is this the part of the night where you get a little bit fucking footloose and fancy free and shit and not caring?
I'm pretty solid. Pretty solid. This beer puts me right where I want to be.
Good.
It's a good beer, man. It's a good beer. Like I'm not gonna describe the beer. The first 3 sips taste like cotton candy with this beer.
Okay.
It tastes like cotton candy, but you could taste the hops in the IPA.
That is a bad description of IPA, bro.
No, it's weird, man. It's weird. It's a weird IPA because it's not bitter. This IPA is not a bitter IPA. Like they've really, really evolved IPAs lately.
Really?
Yeah,
what's the name of it?
It's a Ninjas versus Unicorns.
For real? That's the name of the fucking IPA.
Yeah. I'll show you the can.
Well, is it a local brewery or some shit?
No. It's so it's Ninjas, and then this is the unicorn side.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yo, I mean, and then they have a mini. So they have mini Ninjas versus Unicorns, and it's 4%. So it's the same beer, but it's at a lesser dose.
Well, because
But
it's a
double
mini.
the price.
Because it's a mini.
I mean, everybody makes fun of me for drinking that beer, and they go buy it. They're like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, so many people make fun of me, like, bro, why are you drinking a beer called Ninjas versus Unicorns? And I'm like, you gotta trust me in this one. It's an 8%er. It's an Indian Pale Ale. It's a double Indian Pale Ale.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing beer. And it's an easy IPA
Right.
to consume. And I think people forget that beer has changed. Like, I've had pineapple IPAs. Like, I'm a big IPA drinker, and you go to a liquor store and they got everything, man. Like, okay, this pineapple IPA I had, oh my god, that thing tasted like freaking Hawaiian tropical punch. Alcohol has changed massively, and beer has changed massively, and all the cool shit sounds really dumb at first, and then you're like, man, this is really good.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to try Ninja versus Unicorns. I'll have to go to my local liquor store. I only asked you if it was a local brewery because I've never heard of it before, and
Pipeworks, every year they have a beer that's ranked in usually the top 10 for Thanksgiving. So they have a beer called Cinnamon Invasion. And Cinnamon Invasion is a stout. And what's nice about that one is that it's usually ranked in the top 10 beers for Thanksgiving because you get that cinnamon in there. And it's an interesting beer because sometimes you get sediment in the beer, which means that you have to run it through a coffee filter if you have that problem.
right.
But it's a really interesting beer. And they're just a great company, and they have killer art, and they're smart, and they hire top artists. But it was not as cool as I had this beer called Aeronaut, and it was the beer cover of it was designed by a guy who did covers for the SpongeBob comic.
Nice.
Cool beer, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know who did it, and I wanted to reach out to him because I wanted to interview him. So I actually really want to interview the guy who designed this. So that's one side of it, and then you have the unicorn on this. And I mean, I would love to wear a shirt like this of the unicorn and the ninja. That's just dope as fuck.
Right.
That's into that beer. I'm like looking through a beer aisle, and I'm like, that right there is cool.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I'll have to check it out, man.
But again, I have Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer, and I like that one too.
What's that? The Broken Skull IPA?
So it's a Broken Skull IPA. Then he has a double IPA that's a black can. And then he has an American lager.
I'll have to check it out. I've never drank any of his beer. I've never tried his shit.
It's an okay beer. It's average. I really like this beer. But that beer is like 16 for 4 cans. It's an expensive beer.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And neither
like a 12-pack.
Boston's. I don't recommend if you want what I'm drinking. You're an IPA drinker. I am definitely the Ninjas versus Unicorns. But if you're at a party, so like my sister had a birthday party for my niece, and I love my niece. But during that whole thing, we were up in like a house for like 3 days, cool house and everything. But I wanted to drink my Stone Cold Steve Austin beer because it was a status symbol. And I felt with people I didn't know that thing was going to be more accepted than if I brought a Ninja vs. Unicorns beer.
Right.
I don't know if they were going to be ready for a Ninjas vs. Unicorn beer, or a shoot. I'm trying to think of the beer right now. I think it was like a Stone Imperial. That's a 13% black IPA. Oh my god, that thing was dark as fuck. As a beer, that is the darkest beer I've ever seen, and 13%. I couldn't even finish the beer. It was that rough. Like halfway through, I'm like, I'm solid, man.
I'm solid as a motherfucker.
Oh, it was that beer was complicated. Oh, but again, I'm ending my liquor phase and entering my beer phase right now.
You're entering your beer. You're exiting. Did you say you're exiting your liquor phase, entering your beer?
So I cycle out, right?
Yeah.
We're learning a lot about me tonight, aren't we?
I think we're learning too much, man. I'm not for sure. No, I'm fucking with you. But no big deal.
This is the fun shit that people want to know, right?
I'm almost positive they don't. I'm almost positive nobody's sitting at home like, I wonder if he's drinking liquor and beer at the same time. No, I'm
I
fucking
do that too. No. I mean, I had my sweet tea whiskey, and I had some of that earlier today. I had a tough day at work today, but not because it was my fault. Turns out that people pour shit at my job really shitty.
Did you say they pour shit?
I work in digital accessibility in QA.
Yeah.
And so a program gets updated, and apparently the team that put it together did a shitty job, for lack of a better word.
Nice.
So it took me a little while to figure out how to fix it. And I'm not good at that. I'm not very good at QAing things, and I am a slow quality assurance person. And just it is not my jam. Like, I'm good at digital accessibility. I am not good at quality assurance on products.
It is not my jam.
Well, I'm back up in the jam.
I'm getting kind of tired, man. Like I said, my son had his first nightmare this last night, so he had me up since 3 o'clock. I mean, dude has not been back to sleep since 3 o'clock this morning. He's sleeping with the light fully on in the room right now.
I feel you.
I'm gonna have to pass out, but next week, but you're gonna pick out something for us to watch next week because nothing's going on, right?
What haven't you seen? What haven't you seen that we can talk about?
I'm not for sure, man. I mean, like I said, we talked about Bond.
If you want to do The World's Not Enough, I'll do The World's Is Not Enough.
Is that the first Bronson one?
That's the second one, because GoldenEye was the first.
Is that the one with Halle Berry?
That was after Die Another Day. I'll do Die Another Day. Die Another Day was good.
No, I don't care. I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm not even sure. I mean, I haven't seen that one in fucking.
He did 4.
I haven't seen that shit in years. I'm probably down to watch any of them.
I mean, and Die Another Day was good. I enjoyed Die Another Day. Die Another Day was a lot of fun.
I'm down to watch Die Another Day because I'm probably the most thing I know about GoldenEye is that fucking game. Boom. That game was the shit. That
game was awesome, man. That game was great.
Oh, that game was the shiznit.
That game.
I don't remember really liking the. I don't remember ever seeing that movie and be like, "Oh, this is such a great movie."
The position is that I'm right now eyeing a Denise Richards card as a Dr. Christmas Jones. It's just a matter of how I want to pick it up and how I'm going to fund it. Because that's all that matters to me, is that the amount of I mean, not to get too much into the details, but I fund a lot of things in interesting ways. And again, I want the one that says Christmas Jones on it.
So you're talking about Denise Richards, the actress? Is she also in the Die Another Day movie?
She was in The World Is Not Enough. Halle Berry was in the Die Another Day, and that's the scene when she comes out of the water, popped up in a bikini. Oh, what a great scene!
So which one do you want to watch? The one with Denise Richards?
I'll do either one. You can pick. I mean,
Well, I thought that's why you were talking. I thought that's why you were bringing up Denise Richards. I mean, I'm down to watch whatever.
I love Denise Richards. I love Halle Berry too. Halle Berry is smoking hot. I mean, she's popping out of the water in a bikini. Come on, man. How can I?
That's what I'm saying. I thought that's why you were bringing up. Let's watch this James Bond movie because I'm getting this car with Denise Richards. Like I thought that was the whole Lincoln connection, dude. I thought that's what was going on, bro.
Watch Lincoln too if you want. Want to watch Lincoln instead? It is pumped. It is Good Friday.
No, I'm already watching. You already blew my mind with finding out that Lincoln was just shot and shit. That wasn't locked in here, man. That wasn't something that I remembered.
I'll watch the one, man, because I'm gonna rewatch it and then it'll be fun. Or we could talk about something else completely.
We're talking about the Lincoln, the Daniel Day-Lewis Lincoln.
Oh, of course. What other?
I do not want to rewatch that right now. That is a long fucking movie, man.
What type of Lincoln historian would you?
We're gonna watch the Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Let's rewatch fucking Gangs of New York.
Watch Gangs of New York. Oh, dude, There Will Be Blood is what you watch.
No, Gangs of New York.
He's the shit out of like Eli with a bowling pin.
Yeah, that's great, but I mean, nothing's better than fucking Bill the Butcher.
Bill the Butcher. I mean, let me explain. Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, I've seen There Will Be Blood.
The
oil and shit and all that stuff.
I took my straw and I sucked it up. All your oil, like a milkshake.
Well, you decide. Like I said, dude, we can watch an anime. I don't mind. Just pick out like a movie anime. I don't want to be watching fucking seasons of shit, but I don't care, bro.
Whatever. You know what we should watch? You know what we should review? And we should Get Hard. We should talk about that. Kevin Hart. Get Hard.
With Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell?
Yes. That's what we're gonna do.
We can talk about that. Have you ever seen Undercover Brother?
I'm gonna give you a choice because we do The World's Not Enough, Die Another Day, Get Hard, or Lincoln. What do you want to do?
I don't want to do Lincoln, that's for sure. We can do Get Hard. We can do Die. I don't mind doing James Bond. Just pick one of those. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you want to do Die Another Day? We can do Die Another Day.
Sounds good, man. Whatever.
Oh, man. Now I'm excited. Now I'm excited for next week.
All right, man. Cool. Well,
I'm going to build like an awesome thumbnail, and maybe I'll reach out to Pierce Bronson, and he'll show up. Imagine that, right?
We'll both be very, 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 very surprised at that.
Stranger things have happened, man. Stranger things have happened.
Obviously they have. Obviously.
You don't know my connections, bro.
Why are you on here with me if you got Pierce Brosnan connections and shit, man?
Because I like you, and that's what it comes down to. And
that was your first mistake, I think.
Nobody tells me. People have been trying to tell me.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
That's the thing, in which that until you pay my bills and you invest in my company and invest in me with real money, you don't get a say in who I speak to and when I speak to people. And that's just a fact.
And that's the bottom line, because Mecca says so. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me. And that should be your new call sign when you get on this motherfucker. It'd be like, I'm Mecca Davis. Acknowledge me. And you'd be like, knowledge.
So that is season 6. Instead of I'm scandalous like an ashlight, it's hi. You're watching Conversations. My name is Andy Davis, and you're watching Conversations about Culture. Acknowledge me.
You gotta do like the slow draw on it though. You'll be like, you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. Acknowledge me.
You wait 5 seconds and then you say it that way, right? Yeah.
You lost like 90% of your viewers, like within like the whole game with YouTube is like, get the shit done. Don't waste a whole lot of time at the beginning. Let's go. You're acknowledge me. They're already gone. Acknowledge me.
It's that, or it's hi. Hi, my name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am hard to kill, because that's also true. I have time. I have time to figure out season 6's call sign, but I'd like the acknowledgement. I think it'd be funny.
Acknowledge me. Luckily, by the time season 6 rolls around, he'll be gone and forgotten from the wrestling. There's no God.
I just don't want to cease and desist from WWE. I really don't.
Why not?
It'd be funny to hang up.
No news.
Your lawyer. Oh, it'd be great.
Nothing but good publicity. All right, Mecca, I gotta go, bro. You do the what's up?
Where can people find you?
They can find me on YouTube, Bob's Product. Unlike him, I don't have all the shit that he has. Just look up Bob's Product on YouTube. You can come and find me. But you're probably already on my channel. If you're watching on, you know what's going on. They can also Bob's Product on my TikTok. Am I Bob's Product on the clapper? Not for sure. Not for sure. I don't even remember what the fuck I made the name of it. I probably did it as Bob's Product. I don't even remember what the fuck it is. Where can we find you? Probably something to do with like pop anime in suburbia or some shit, right?
No. So, my name is Andrew Davis, and I am scandalous like an Ashley.
Suburban Commando.
What? What'd you say?
Suburban Commando. I don't know. That just popped in my head. I don't know.
I can be found on. So obviously, I am Pop Anime Comics. I can be found on Twitter at Pop Anime Comics. Instagram is Pop Anime Comics. Facebook is Pop Anime Comics. You can come find me somewhere on the internet. If you can find my Facebook, feel free to say hi. My YouTube channel is Pop Anime Comics.
Is your OnlyFans Pop Anime Comics? Can we find you there?
No, my OnlyFans is I am the king and you will acknowledge me. No.
You should try to sell books on OnlyFans or some shit, bro. Fuck that WhatsApp shit.
Again, I should sell books on Patreon. Oh my god, it'd be really funny. The amount of shit that I could sell on OnlyFans. You're giving me really good ideas. I have a fucking killer idea right now for my OnlyFans things. Really good idea. I'll tell you about it after we're off the air because you're like, God damn it, why did I think of that? But in all seriousness, YouTube is Pop Anime Comics, and then my eBay store is Pop Anime Comics Collectibles, and I am on Whatnot every Friday night, usually around 9:00, selling comic books at Pop Anime Comics. And you're not obligated to buy anything from me. We just hang out. I have a lot of fun. I'm gonna have a few adult sodas. I may or may not do that. It's up to you to figure it out. But we have a good time, and you can hear me rant about a lot of things on my Whatnot. We have a good time.
It's a good idea for your OnlyFans. You ranting, like you ranting with like your shirt off or some shit. That can be your
this belly, guys. This belly. Look at this.
OnlyFans all day long.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So beautiful. No, I have actually a really good idea for OnlyFans. Really good idea. I'll make a fortune. It's almost as good as my idea for many vids. Yeah, I may or may not come to many vids at all. I don't think anybody's ready for me.
Probably not.
But I basically anything Pop Anime Comics is mine. So you go there, you'll find me, and I'm friendly. Just don't be a dick. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't be a dick. Because if you are a dick. I used to like you.
Oh, you just got me banned on TikTok.
Yes.
No, it's not yes. My live access just got revoked for fucking days.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. What were you saying? Like shit.
I just said don't be a dick.
That was it. I don't know. Like literally we were just on for like an hour and a half, and that's what the fucking went. It's not your fault, dude. I'm not mad at you. Like I'm just saying.
I really do feel bad.
There's no way that we didn't say anything over fucking 2-hour period worse than don't be a dick about it.
I said, don't be a dick. And if you are a dick, I used to like you.
Quit taking my shit, motherfucker.
That's the plan. I still everything, man.
Oh.
But
All right.
all I got, everybody. And I think that is a wrap.
Peace.